from a session like that, and how would they apply to historical research?
Well, it's kind of opened my eyes to all the different resources the university has at its fingertips, and things I didn't know the history department was really subscribed to. So it's useful. I wish we'd found out about it in first year, to be honest.
Yeah, do you think it could be more useful as a first year activity?
Being able to know what's at your fingertips, because there is a wealth of information out there, but you don't realize it sometimes.
Describe your research process.
I think it's sort of begin at a library. I think pretty much every historian will say that. Reading and more reading for weeks before you really get anywhere. For me, I tend to stop sort of a couple of weeks into sort of the reading time and just think about where I am and brainstorm loads, and then I sort of go back to the books and the sources after that.
How important is independent research?
I think that independent research is basically at the heart of our degree. It's the thing that we spend most of our time doing. It's reading and looking for information in archives and resources and that kind of thing. I think personally I find reading and independent research to be the most rewarding part of the degree as well. Personally don't get much out of lectures in terms of notes and things that are useful for revision. I think that the only thing that can really give you the kind of the retention and the deep kind of knowledge that you need to answer questions properly is by really engaging with the written material.
Definitions is what we were talking about first. Maybe begin with something concrete like definitions, which we don't have any idea in it. But we had a look at Lion, or had a look at Lion and Echo searches to see if definitions change over time.
We've copied a few visual sources just generally. I don't know where to start really. Okay, well, a lot of them are just sort of pictures of the grand late 18th century pool. I think you get a lot more of them just because it's much more impressive, and so books tend to focus on these sort of things, and people at the time tended to record them as well. And we've got some floor plans. So this is a late 18th century cottage. This is something we actually studied in class. Oh yeah, that's really good. Yeah.
It is a hall, but it's rather large.
Yeah. But it almost sort of does act as
and always like the entrance.
Yeah.
How important is collaborative research?
I really enjoyed collaborative research when we've done it. It doesn't really come up that often. We've done some work in seminars as a group or with another student. I think it's really good for kind of broadening you get the input of another individual. You get to they kind of like shine a light on areas that you maybe wouldn't have considered before. There's a kind of like it focuses your research, and you can help each other to kind of get the right information down.
How important is it to use independent inquiry in history?
I think it's really important to use independent inquiry in history because it's important that you formulate your own thought process. So you're reading the work of other historians and you're getting inspired from your own point of view. I think that's really important to be inspired to create and have the confidence which you develop throughout your degree to have your own independent inquiry.
Probably quite important, seeing as for seminars or writing essays, you've got to do your own research, and you've got to find the facts to base your arguments around. And so, if you do sort of no research whatsoever, you can hardly write a persuasive argument. So you've got to go out there, find your own articles. You can't just rely on seminars or lectures to sort of give you the foundations of an essay.
Do you think that the use of technology and the internet is becoming increasingly important within the scope of historical research?
I think it's definitely becoming more and more important because the wealth of articles that you can find now on the internet. Like for many of my essays, I've just based my research on articles, and all those articles I found on the internet, I didn't have to go into journals.
Do you enjoy working collaboratively as part of a group?
I really enjoy working collaboratively in history. It's fantastic when you're in a seminar and you're bouncing ideas off everybody in the group, because everyone's read exactly the same text for their seminar, but everyone has all these different ideas, and you can think of all these new ways to get inspired by everybody. Think, oh, I never thought that point of view, and that might be something really important that you can use in your own arguments. So I love working in seminars. I think it's a great way, working collaboratively to get some new ideas.
How would you feel about presenting your research in formats different to a traditional essay?
I think sometimes history students are a bit scared to go beyond the essay because it's what we know and it's what we're really used to. But with your degree, it's all about pushing yourself, thinking outside the box, and you can, if you think of new ways that you're learning, can really help your degree. It's really important to get outside the essay. So, for example, I know that some, in politics, done poster projects and in English language and linguistics. I think at first I'd be a bit hesitant, but I think it's really important just to develop new ideas, and I think that moving beyond essays would be a really good way to enhance my degree and my transferable skills for when I graduate.
Does presenting your work to others enrich your learning experience?
I think in some respects it does, because if you have to make a presentation to a group, then it focuses your mind and it makes you sort of think about the question more in depth. But also in another way, if you've presented your sort of argument to a group, they'll give you feedback, and you can use that feedback. They'll give you their own opinions, and so you can use that to further your presentation. You can go away and think, well, I gave them my argument, and they've given me back their opinions, which I can now use. And so it does enrich your experience, because you can then from that point on, be aware of the other opinions surrounding that topic.
Definitely, I find it really inspiring when my peers present to me. I think you've got so much to gain by listening to your other students. I mean, at the start of your degree, it feels a bit like you're being back at school, almost you're being parrot-fed. You're spoon-fed in lectures, so you're just learning from your lecturers are saying. But throughout the history degree, the more you go on, the more you have seminars, and it's the best way for me to bounce ideas of other people and get your own set of individual thoughts. In lectures, I think everyone seems to come over the same sort of thought process. But at seminars, I bet everyone's been there, you get all these different ideas, and I love that sort of thing.